belted a 2-run shot. Nick Markakis led the Orioles with 4 hits and 3 RBIs. The New York Mets lost to the Washington Nationals 4-2. The Nationals scored all 4 of their runs in the 5th inning. Adam LaRoche belting a 3-run homer to cap off the rally. The Pittsburgh Pirates, they secured a playoff berth last night with a 3-2 win over the Atlanta Braves for the 2nd straight year. And the last time the Pirates went back-to-back postseasons was all the way back in 91 and 92. I wasn't even alive yet. For Iona Athletics, the women's soccer team is in action today, traveling to Quinnipiac. That game is set to start at 3 p.m. That game is over. The golf and men's water polo teams are both in action tomorrow. And Benzino, that's what's on tap for sports today.
Well, on tap for this segment of AB Conversation, the producer's here. Long time, day one member of AB Conversation.
Biggest fan.
Our biggest fan, supporter, the homie, Rob Jiggity. What up?
What's up, y'all?
Rob Jiggity, you have transferred over. You've crossed over from the glass to in the studio.
Last time you was on here, you wasn't the producer.
How do you feel about? Yeah, you were
you worked your way up through the
ranks.
ranks.
You changed your career. You were an analyst that day.
Yeah, I had to get a new career path. You know,
it's only right.
Listen, I think we nominated him to be our producer the day that we were stuck for a nugget. We needed a stat, and he was there.
Rob
Boom.
Jiggity.
He just gave it to us.
He's always there for AB Conversation.
Always.
I try.
Always.
You know I do.
You can never doubt Rob. You can never doubt Rob. I don't see any way you could doubt Rob.
Not
Thank
at
you.
all.
Thank you.
You're a good guy.
Thank you. You're a quality person also.
Quality.
You're a quality person.
Quality.
All right.
Let's talk about some quality sports here.
Yeah. What do we
are a sports show.
Benzino. We talked a lot of football. Our first segment. We talked a lot of football.
Correct.
But Rob's in here for one reason and one reason only. And unfortunately, it's not basketball.
It's not basketball. You gotta get yourself diverse, Rob.
I know.
Are you up to the challenge?
Yeah.
Rob Jiggity, always up for the challenge.
Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball, Rob. We have you in here for your expertise on Major League Baseball.
I would. Okay, expertise.
You wouldn't call it expertise?
A person that's knowledgeable about baseball sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right. Sometimes?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure everybody. Okay. Well, Rob, you know what? I believe you know a lot about sports, but I'm sure we could have brought anybody in here right now, and they would know what's going on with Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
But Rob knows a lot about sports. But Rob, Derek Jeter, the captain, is saying goodbye officially to the big ballpark in the Bronx tomorrow night.
Man.
And that's exactly my reaction. Rob, how are you feeling? How is New York feeling right now?
Baseball is not my primary sport, but anyone who's been watching, even casually, understands the impact that Derek Jeter has had on New York sports and baseball as a whole.
Talk that talk.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to see one of the greats leave.
It is sad. And I think Rob goes and says that Derek Jeter has had an impact on sports as a whole, and I think it's a great point.
Yep.
Because if we want to talk a little bit about that, Eli Manning came out yesterday and said, Derek, when I was struggling my rookie season, I think he had lost, you know what, not even his rookie season. Might have been back then as well. But even last year, when the Giants started out 0-6,
yep.
Derek called him up and told him, you know what, Eli, everything's going to be okay. And to hear that from somebody like Derek Jeter, I think that's just a perfect example of what he has meant as a professional athlete to this society.
Most definitely, because Derek Jeter can be a role model in any sports, any walks of life. Derek Jeter's a role model.
Exactly.
And he's so... I'm sorry. You can continue.
Rob, you go right ahead. This is your show right now.
I'm saying Derek Jeter rarely gets in trouble. He's composed. He's a picture of what you want to see in an athlete. Composure. He rarely gets in trouble outside the sport. He keeps his stuff together. That's basically...
Rob, that was like a poem. That was like the sweetest piece of candy I've ever eaten.
That was a sonnet, Robert.
I couldn't have said it better than that. With everything going on with Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson and even in baseball, all the steroid users. I mean, Derek Jeter has been a clean bill of health for baseball for the past 20 seasons.
Yes.
And for all the sports. And I don't know if you've seen his recent commercial.
Oh my! Can we talk about it?
Go ahead, talk about it.
Which commercial you want to talk about first?
Well, there's two.
I'm
thinking you said "Oh my" about the most recent, the Gatorade one.
The Gatorade one was perfectly executed.
Yeah.
In this commercial, Derek Jeter's he's driving in a cab in the Bronx streets.
Right.
And then there's something happens, and it's, let me walk out. That's what Derek Jeter says.
Yeah.
But in the background is a Frank Sinatra song. I forgot the song.
My Way.
My Way
Yeah.
by Frank Sinatra.
Written by Paul Anka. Paul Anka actually wrote that. A
Who's
little
Paul-
bit of my music intel.
That's kind of ironic. The song's called My Way, written by somebody else.
In this commercial, you see the native Bronx people
Yeah.
saying what up to Jeter,
Yeah.
recognize Jeter's greatness. Like, oh my God, Derek Jeter's on the streets,
Yeah.
shaking my hand. He goes into a Stan's, I believe, the restaurant, the bar.
Right. He goes into the bar, yeah.
He signs the guy's order, the cash register. He says, the owner says, "I'm trying to get you here since 1996." Jeter goes, "You never asked." Derek Jeter. And the other commercial is a Jordan brand commercial. He is signed to the Jordan brand. And in that commercial, it's a respect commercial.
It's a respect commercial.
And,
yes.
and also for Gatorade, it's a respect commercial too.
Right.
It's been trademarked, the respect with the 2 in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes. Derek Jeter and Michael Jordan have gone hand in hand just for the fact that Derek has looked up to Michael as his idol.
And
Yep.
didn't they come out with a Jordan Jeter shoe?
Yeah. Jeter has his line of shoes.
No, they came out with a
It's
a
significant.
Derek Jeter
Jumpman.
Yeah,
what do you call it again? It's,
Jumpman.
It's a Jordan 1.
a memorabilia shoe, like a shoe to commemorate his career.
Yeah, it's a Jordan 1 shoe. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's blue, got pinstripes in it.
It's
It's a
got
nice shoe.
pinstripes and everything,
Jeter
yeah.
It's a
has
nice shoe.
Jeter has repped the Jumpman now for for pretty much since he came
whole
up into the
career,
league.
yeah.
His batting gloves. I don't know. At one point he developed that the Jordan batting gloves where he would use those, because I don't think from the very beginning he did, but at one point he did, and now after all is said and done, Michael Jordan had come out for the commemoration ceremony, honoring Jeter at Yankee Stadium back in early September. But that commercial, Ben, that could get you feeling. It's given me chills before. It gets you feeling. I agree. It was perfectly executed.
Yes.
It captured what Derek Jeter has meant to the Yankee community.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to bring this up now that I thought of it. I think it's a nice point of discussion. Anybody here has heard of the fact that Chris Carlin who's an analyst for SNY? I believe he tweeted something like, now I don't know the tweet for sure. I don't know exactly what the tweet said. I didn't see the tweet. I heard him talking to Michael Kay on the Michael Kay show
Okay.
about how Derek Jeter would never do that unless it was for a commercial.
Oh.
Now, it's a nice way to cause a little controversy, if you will, in the whole commercial atmosphere. Because let's face it, Derek Jeter probably has never done that.
Yeah.
Walk to the stadium to a game. So what is that? Does that mean necessarily that we have to bash him for making commercial about something he's never done?
No. I don't think so.
I mean, especially because commercials are usually wild and outlandish.
Right.
You see all these, like Michael Jordan had a commercial way back where him and Larry Bird were shooting from Jupiter to make a basket on
Right.
Saturn. Like, commercials are meant to be outlandish, and
Right.
it's like some of the stuff is real. Like, he's pretty personable. But,
Exactly.
But then the commercial's supposed to take it to another extent.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think the best way to say it is the fact that the commercial may not be an exact scene taken from Derek Jeter's life, but it's an example of
Yes.
what he's meant to New York, and probably an example of many things he's done similar to that. I mean, you watch Derek Jeter. I've watched Derek Jeter since my whole life.
Since you came out the womb.
Since I came out the womb, and I've seen him throw batting gloves into the stands. I've seen him chat with kids on the on-deck circle. I mean, these are things professional players don't normally do.
Yeah.
He's been so personable to the fans. He's been so he's tossed the bat over the dugout to a little girl, a broken bat. I mean, everybody remembers that. And these are things that Jeter brought so much joy to all these fans, especially little kids. And in that commercial, that's what you see.
And I remember one time where he caught a foul ball, and then he went to throw it, like he fake throwed it to a girl.
Right.
A boy tried to intercept it, and then he just ran up and gave it to the girl.
You're right, Robert. I remember.
Yeah. See,
Yeah, like
that's a Derek Jeter thing to do.
Yeah.
In
He's a classy guy.
the Jordan commercial, that commercial is about tipping your hat off to Derek Jeter.
Right.
You see Boston fans. You see see rappers, you see they had the core four
Yeah.
in the commercial.
Core four, yeah.
There are a lot of different people paying respects to Derek Jeter in that commercial.
Yes, and the correlation there was the fact that Derek, I don't know if you ever noticed, but when he gets up, he tips his helmet to the pitcher.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily a tip of the hat, but he nods his head at the pitcher as if to say, how's it going?
Yeah.
And now everybody in
dance.
baseball, Derek, thanks for everything.
Mr. Jeter.
Mr. Jeter, he will be missed. He will be missed, and the Yankees are gonna miss him.
The Yankees, Anthony, I'm sorry to put even more down moment on you, but the Yankees are also going to miss the playoffs.
They are.
As Mr. Pinstripes, what went wrong?
What went wrong? Well, the Yankees. I think we're transitioning into a period where the Yankees are not the dominant team they once were. And I think what's scary for a Yankee fan is that the Yankees are not really sure about where they're going. I think that it's scary to watch Derek Jeter leave because of that as well, because the Yankees always were part of a lot of teams that changed based on free agents, changed because we always had money, changed on different players that were bought. And there was always an identity, and that identity has been Mariano Rivera, Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, and finally Derek Jeter, who's
Yep.
going to be gone. And I think the team is changing not only in that respect, where they're losing their identity a little bit by losing Jeter, but where did they go next? That's the question. What they did this year was went out and picked up a lot of big free agent names.
Yes.
Which the last time they did that back in 2009, they won the World Series.
Mhm.
If that hasn't worked, and it really hasn't, because they haven't made the playoffs, never mind make the World Series, where do they turn? Ben, you could say maybe the farm system.
What farm system?
Exactly. There is no farm system. So I think it's a very scary time for this Yankee team. And I think what went wrong this year particularly was their whole pitching staff got wiped out.
CC broke his leg, I believe.
CC had injured his ankle.
His
I
ankle,
believe his
okay.
ankle. CC, Ivan Nova,
Tanaka came back recently, but
yeah,
after June 18th,
right.
he wasn't part of the Yankees.
Exactly. After his dominant 12 wins, he was gone.
Mhm.
And they were left with a bunch of pitchers who tried to scrap together. Brandon McCarthy, Chase Whitley,
Kennedy? Is he part of the staff?
Ian Cannon.
Yeah.
No, he's been gone for a
Okay.
while. But Chris Capuano,
Okay.
he's been there. And these guys, they were not the problem. They actually contributed a lot. Rob, what was the problem? The offense.
Offense.
The
The offense.
Okay.
The fact that they went out and got Jacoby Ellsbury, Brian McCann, and Carlos Beltran.
Beltran.
The fact that Beltran barely played, batted .230 with 15 homers and 45 RBIs. The fact that Brian McCann did not live up to his number. He lived up to his numbers now that it's all said and done, but his batting average just .230.
That's not good.
Too long. And the final piece, Jacoby Ellsbury, I believe he led the team in RBIs.
That's
When Jacoby
Wow.
Ellsbury is leading your team in RBIs with 78, whatever he has,
not
it's a
good.
problem. There was a lack of production, and I think that the Yankees are stuck. And I don't know where they're going.
Anthony, could you say they do not have this is the first time in years,
Right.
decades,
Right.
they do not have a definite infield. A bunch of nobodies at the position. Because Teixeira has been injured. So I'm putting that into the factor of there's nobody in their infield. And this is the first time you're seeing this in decades. You at least had a catcher in Posada. You had Clemens Pettit. You had A-Rod, but who knows what A-Rod. Jeter, the shortstop.
Yeah.
Cano.
Yeah.
And then whoever they put, Giambi or Teixeira,
Yeah. I should. Giambi.
He DH'd, but
Right.
they had somebody at the position.
Right. And I forgot to mention, I was mentioning the pitching staff. Green, who's been very good, the rookie, he really picked up the staff as well. But as you mentioned that, I mean, if you go position by position, Mark Teixeira was productive this year, but not nearly as productive as he should have been because of his injury. When you got a guy in and out of the lineup every day because he's complaining about his wrist, I'm not calling him a baby, but I'm saying the Yankees don't have a solid producer at first base.
Yes.
If you go to second base, giving up Robinson Cano was a mistake. I'm sorry.
Tell him.
After watching Brian Roberts being able to not do what was needed.
And he's old.
Right, and he's older. And now bringing over Stephen Drew from the Red Sox, who's had to learn second base for the first time since high school. He's another mediocre infielder.
Yes.
Nobody is going to compare to Robinson Cano. And when you move over to short, Derek Jeter's gone. That's it.
Gone.
He's gone. And for every single year he's been a part of this organization, besides this year, and besides the few seasons he was hurt, he was one of the top shortstops in the league. Not only based on his leadership, but on his production.
Yes.
And with Derek Jeter gone, the only hope the Yankees have is to go after a Troy Tulowitzki in the offseason.
Giancarlo in 2 years.
Yeah. And right now, there's no answer. Third base, another question mark is A-Rod's supposed to come back. And Rob, I don't know, have you liked what you saw out of Chase Headley since he's been here?
Honestly, I haven't been watching any Yankee games.
Okay.
But I haven't been hearing anything good about him.
Chase Headley has been he's been defending well. We'll put it that way. He's been, in my eyes, like a Greg Nettles, like a real good defensive third baseman. Like, obviously not Greg Nettles, but real good.
Okay.
And offensively, he's been okay. But there's nobody, as you said, there's nobody wowing anybody in the infield.
Yes.
And in the catcher position, the only thing we're sure about for next year is, not even sure, because A-Rod, we're not 100%, but he should be coming back, and Brian McCann. Other than that, everybody else is a question mark.
Garner could be gone. Brett Gardner.
I hope so. I hope not. Brett Gardner was our best player this year.
And that's saying something.
So I hope not. The Yankees are in trouble. Unfortunately, for the first time in a long time, the New York Yankees are on the verge of going back to what they were in the mid-'90s, before they started winning championships, when nobody was at the stadium.
The Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages. Nobody came to the stadium. The only reason why anybody would come to the stadium was to see Don Mattingly. Like, the Yankees are in danger of going back to that.
Whoa.
And that's a bold statement,
Whoa.
right? Hey, it's the truth.
Before we move on, after Jeter retires, there'll be no more single-digit. Like, when they retire his jersey, there'll be no more single-digit jerseys left.
Talk that talk, Rob.
Just wanted to point that out.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? That's true, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you name some of the single-digit jerseys that have been retired?
Oh, absolutely. Ben, this is like, remember, you and the Knicks, you know what I'm saying?
I should have saved that for a question on for our game.
When we play the game. We got to start playing those games.
We'll get to those games soon, but Anthony.
You and the Knicks, it's like me and the Yankees. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I'm a Knicks fan, and Ben watches the Yankees. But there's always that team that you will know everything about.
Yep.
And for the Yankees, I mean, Billy Martin was number 1, retired. Number 2, now the captain, soon to be retired, number Derek Jeter. Number 3, the house that Ruth built, Babe Ruth, Sultan of SWAT, King of Sting, 714 home runs.
Talk that talk.
Number 4, the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, retired. Number 5, Jolton Joe, center fielder, speediest Italian center fielder in the league, Joe DiMaggio. Number 6, we got to remember our leader, Joe Torre. Number 6. Number 7, the Mick, arguably one of the best center fielder ever. Last in the league, Mickey Mantle. Willie Mays could make an argument, but Mick, he's the Mick. Number 8, Yogi Berra. Yogi, what can I say about Yogi? Number 9. Number 9.
Last
you
one.
might have stumped me at number 9.
Last one.
9.
Number 9. Joe is saying I got to get number 9. I'm drawing a blank.
This is very impressive. Do
you guys know number 9?
No.
But Joe knows number 9. Don't tell me it. There we go. He told me already. Roger Maris. I needed it. I wasn't gonna think of it. Roger Maris, the Eminem Bros. According to
that was impressive though.
Joe helped me out there.
It's not only the fact that he just gave you a number and a name.
And a nickname. He rattled it off.
Gave you
stats.
Why
he
those
just rattled it off like it was
why
reflexive.
those jerseys are retired for the Yankees organization.
Come on, you guys got to tell me.
He gave them their names. He gave them their names. He rattled.
Come on, Joe, let's do it. Show it off.
All right,
let's go. Knicks, Ben, now.
Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Of course. Earl the Pearl.
Yeah.
At number 15.
Yeah.
That's why Carmelo couldn't wear 15.
Yeah.
We got Will Clyde Frazier.
Yeah.
That's number 10. We also have your boy Richie Garrett.
Garen, yeah, Richie Garrett. My boy Richie Garrett.
That's Anthony's man's Richie Garrett.
Yeah, Richie Garrett. We go way back. Me and Richie.
There's is it 283? Is number 283 retired?
No, I don't know.
It's a number of wins. Oh man, that a coach had. I believe it's 283. But I am not 100% sure.
All right. That's okay. That's a tough one. 283. Wow.
Wasn't Willis Reed's number retired? Or?
Willis
Oh
Reed
yeah,
as well.
Willis Reed's
Uh-huh.
number was retired. Yeah.
Who else, Rob?
What about John Starks? His
No,
number
no,
wasn't
no.
retired
No,
yet.
Number
yeah.
3. No, not yet. I don't think.
You don't think he'll ever be
he will.
retired?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah,
Nah.
he's not.
Nah, him and Marbury basically had the same impact,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is crazy to say.
I don't know.
Him and Marbury
John,
had the same impact.
I don't know.
John Starks.
Marbury never challenged Jordan like John Starks did.
No, but when Marbury was serious, what Marbury brought to New York Knicks and that community, Marbury once had the whole league in jersey sales. He was number 1,
Right.
so he had that impact.
Yeah.
But the fallout was terrible for Marbury.
Right.
So, sorry to hear that. He got a statue
Yeah.
in China.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a statue in China.
Like players could go there, play a couple weeks, and then have a statue.
He did win a chip for his team, but
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. Go somewhere, talk a little bit, and have a statue.
and have just
Like
a
Darren Williams,
mod-
Darren Williams went to Turkey, played for 3 weeks, and they had a statue of him.
He averaged like 45 though. He averaged 45 in Turkey.
You get a statue in 3 weeks? That's
I mean,
awesome.
when they go to these other countries, they're like a god.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what happens because the NBA is so competitive. You know what I mean? I mean, look at what they did in FIBA. I mean, to other countries.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look, the USA basketball. I mean, just the talent here in America is unbelievable.
And we didn't even send our best troops.
No,
Not at all.
I don't know how we got on the topic of basketball, but
Oh, well.
I always love it here. So if you
Yes.
guys want to keep talking about basketball, we will.
We can talk about meta world peace,
All right, Meta World Peace.
or we can talk about Ron Artest, or we can talk about the Panda Friend.
The Panda Friend.
That's his new nickname.
That's his new name.
Oh,
Is it- so he
no,
changed.
he said he might not change his.
He might
change
not
it.
Okay,
That's his nickname though. Like
the man.
So let me get this straight. Ron Artest, who changed his name to Meta World Peace, is now
Yes.
the Panda name.
The Panda
the
Friend.
Panda Friend. He might change his name legally. He might change his name legally, but right now it's just his nickname.
Is he okay?
Well,
Is he all right?
Maybe he bumped his head too many times. I
It
don't
is
know.
Ron Artest.
I mean, he did have the big brawl with Ben Wallace. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, but Ron Artest is not your average run-of-the-mill NBA player.
No, he's out
He's not
there.
your run of mill anything. This man is.
He's crazy.
If you call yourself the Panda Friend,
yeah, this
You know what he is though. He's a very nice guy, and
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah.
he's very because when he was interviewed about the whole situation when the Knicks bought him out, he was very civil.
Yeah, he was.
He was
Wasn't
calm, very calm.
he's one of those guys where he would like fight you on the
flow.
court. He'd fight you on the court, then come off the court
And help
ask
you with your tires.
Yeah, help you with your.
your tires, like
He's one of those guys, like a Gary Payton type of guy who'd fight you on the court and then off the court. Can you sign this for me? Like,
yeah. But the thing is, why we're talking about the Panda Friend, because he's not playing in the NBA this year so far. He's not on a team. He's signed to a team in Turkey.
oh, was it in China?
Turkey or China? I believe it's China, Rob.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me. But in this Chinese team, Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, the Panda Friend,
Right.
will be wearing sneakers. Right? Because that's you gotta wear sneakers when you play
Oh
basketball.
yeah,
professionally.
yeah.
Most
But-
things require sneakers.
But on the tongue, on the tongue of the sneaker, will be the face of
A panda?
A panda.
So-
Yes.
Why does he like pandas so much?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've seen that design before on a sneaker with
Right.
other animals. Jeremy Scott, he's a fashion designer. He does sneakers with Adidas.
Right.
And he would have sheep on his sneakers. He would have a gorilla on his sneakers. But seeing this as you're running down the court, you got these two pandas on your feet. Like, I'm gonna get you. No, pandas are actually quiet when they attack.
Pandas are. You know why? I
Pandas
think he
are
likes
vicious.
pandas?
You can't attack their bamboo or their children.
Pandas are vicious.
You know why I think?
they're killers.
Well, pandas are peaceful until they're forced to be vicious.
Yeah.
That's therefore
Same
I
way
think
as-
Ron Artest
as
or Meta
Artest.
World Peace, now the Panda Friend,
yeah.
is.
The panda.
This was a funny way to talk. It's a funny topic. Funny way to transition from baseball to basketball.
You know, New York Knicks basketball. We
The
out
Panda
here
Friend. I'm excited for next season.
We're almost there. We're about, what's today, the 24th? Season starts.
I have nothing else to look forward to. The
4
Yankees
weeks.
are out, so.
Oh, playoffs.
The Giants, that's true.
MLB playoffs.
MLB playoffs.
We have
our playoff preview show. We'll do more in depth coming up.
But as of right now, the Kansas City Royals are 1 game behind the Detroit Tigers for the division, which is pivotal because if the Royals overtake the division, that means the Tigers have to play in the wild card game. A wild card game is a 1-card game against another wild card team to see who to advance into the playoffs. Into the real round of the playoffs.
And the Tigers had a big win. David Price had pitched, and David Price.
That was a great acquisition.
But he got hit a little. He got hit around a little bit. It was the Tigers that came back, I believe, with a clutch win in the bottom of the. I believe it was the bottom of the 9th. I don't think it went to extra innings.
Didn't JD Martinez hit the home run or something? I think it was JD Martinez. Oh, that was another incident that happened because I remember JD Martinez.
No, that wasn't it. It was a walk-off hit, but the Tigers came up with a big win because these teams are fighting for that division right now.
Yeah.
And the Royals have been. Boy, the Royals have really resurrected that organization this year with the way they've been playing. But yeah, in the Eastern Division, you had the Nationals in first place. And the Braves followed by the Mets and the Miami Marlins. And the Philadelphia Phillies wound up in last place.
Oh, that's sad.
And
the Phillies.
Other than that, the East, you're looking at the Orioles. The American League East, you're looking at the Orioles, who dominated without Manny Machado for a lot of the season and without Matt Wieters for a lot of the season, which is why you got to commend a team like the Orioles that they didn't have all of their essential.
They didn't have the top 3 players, top 2.
But guys like Steve Pearce, who the Yankees had at one time, and guys like Kelly Johnson, who the Yankees just had, they're making a difference.
Yep.
They're producing, and that's what you got to expect. When your essential parts aren't there, other guys pick up the slack.
Most definitely.
That's why the Orioles are going to go deep into this postseason.
And the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Out in the Western Division.
Finally taking the division.
You know who's been
finally taking the division.
Phenomenal is the Dodgers. Dodgers have been phenomenal. Yesterday there was a brawl between Garrett Cole and Yasiel Puig.
Puig always. He's been slacking though. Puig. He's been slacking.
They've had some history. Yasiel Puig had flipped the bat in a previous encounter, and Garrett Cole didn't appreciate it very much. So the first at bat yesterday, Garrett Cole goes and throws at Yasiel Puig's feet. Yasiel Puig was looking at him. Garrett Cole says, "What are you looking at?" In other words, and they started going at it. And I think the Dodgers appreciate the fire as the postseason's approaching. But they got the best pitcher in the major leagues on their team in Clayton Kershaw, and they got a very productive offense. So I think it may be the Dodgers' year.
We've been saying that since last year.
I said that last year that the Dodgers would be in the World Series, but
hopefully, we'll talk about that.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that. But also the Oakland Athletics. The word reeling, Anthony, I looked it up. You have been correct. That reeling means not doing good.
I've been using that for a long time, not knowing what it means.
You are correct. I'm like, wow,
thank
Anthony
God.
was right.
Otherwise, I'm losing my job because I've been saying the wrong thing for a long time.
And I thought you were, but the Oakland Athletics are reeling.
Reeling?
Yes.
Great. I'm great you cleared that up.
But they're still in the race.
Seriously.
They're still in the race for the wild card, but they're most likely going to get pinned up against the Royals or the Tigers.
The Mariners are looking good.
You said it would be a dark age this year for the Mariners.
For the Mariners.
But surprisingly, not.
No. Surprisingly, Robinson Cano has actually helped this team contend for a wild card spot in this postseason.
He's been hitting, Robinson Cano's no slouch at the plate. He always has a good average, over 300 average. You feel me, Rob Jiggity?
Right, and they've put together. But Felix Hernandez, the King, got smacked around by the Blue Jays last night, and they've had his number.
Yeah,
the Blue Jays have had his number. Baseball is going to be getting exciting soon.
Yes.
Fortunately, without any New York teams, I don't know when they'll be involved again with postseason. But we'll be getting into some baseball as the playoffs begin. So stay tuned for that.
Next week,
yeah,
we'll be discussing that. We'll be giving our preview of the MLB playoffs. We'll be discussing NFL news, and I will give my shout-outs. We have Carlos F.G. Yulee, Franklin Nick, Will Alex, Chris Kraft, Sedan, Chris Jolosalis, Game Plan Say, A Run, GTN, FSMP, New York Knicks Basketball.
Before we in here.
Oh, well, Rob, you got any shout-outs, Rob?
Nah, hi mom. That's my only shout out.
On, what's good?
Hi on, my sister.
Chris Jolosalis.
You ain't shout out my brother anyway. Before we in here. Let's go.
Rob Jiggity, we always have a good time when you're on the show, and thank
shout
you.
out to Tony Stacks over there.
Rigatoni.
Rigatoni. Young Rigatoni.
I never been quoted that way until Rob finally comes in and calls me that.
Rigatoni.
Ben came up with Rigatoni. Rigatoni's Ben.
What about yours for him?
Tony Stacks.
Tony Stacks.
Tony Stacks.
So that means I gotta come up with a new name for Jiggity.
No.
No.
You're
Jiggity is
Jiggity.
fine.
Jiggity Benzino the hero.
Benzino the hero.
You got Tony
Rob
Stacks.
Jiggity,
Rigatoni.
Rigatoni
Tony Stacks.
macaroni, Tony Stacks, and this baloney.
Let's get to these bars, man. Anthony Carlo the spitter.
Young Rigatoni. That's
Young
Young
Rigatoni.
Rigatoni. Just call me Tony the Man. That's fine with me.
Tony the Man. That's better.
But for Benzino the hero, Rob Jiggity, and Anthony Carlo, we would like to thank you for listening. WICR's AB Conversation. We'll be back Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:30. See you then.
See you next week, everyone.
Yeah.
We always use
Yeah,
the
here in New
freshest
York
and
Knicks
highest
basketball.
quality ingredients